I remember that.
Hey guys, welcome to another iteration of the My Hero Academia manga chapter reads. This is chapter 361 that we're covering for this week. I'm here with Mark.
Hi.
And Mark, there's something that we always do before every new manga chapter, and what would that be?
Recap episode!
Baby, don't slap me. You couldn't catch you on the rising up. You just go dead silent.
Rip.
Mark. You just hear it in the background like, sorry, Mark won't be joining you.
He just said, he's tired. He just hear me.
Bring the sedative. Got it.
Nurse, sedate him. Pa!
Sorry, we were out of drugs.
We were out of drugs, but Mother Nature gave us fists.
the natural sedative.
Sedative. These hands!
Speaking of hands and going towards fingers, so chapter 360, right? The previous chapter that we're covering has a shot of all for Shiggy foot guy, all the memes of the feet contact of Bakugo and everything following suit. But
So good.
aside from the funny memes, and there were some funny memes of like this current chapter, I will go over that like briefly once we get there. Bakugo's struggling. Everyone's trying to rush over to like Bakugo now, but this was like post like him just getting the work. Shigaraki grabbed like him by his feet and like lifted him up, grabbed him, used the other foot to like mash in like the gauntlet, and proceeded to give Bakugo a really quick nightmare scenario of fingers growing within him before like snapping into reality. And oh, here comes Nejire with the wave, but unfortunately Shigaraki's a little too smart. He's like, I'm baiting you right now. And she's like, oh, nope. Turns that around. We got Amajiki like coming from like behind. He's shooting out some scorpion tails, trying to throw some toxin into the system. And Shigaraki's like, nope. Bai can actually like spit that out and proceeds to spit it out.
He has become an absolute menace.
He grows more finger tendrils like out from the ground, and those have mouths. That's gross. I was noting Amajiki's reaction in that shot is it's quite apt actually for what we're feeling too.
Absolutely, just like, oh dear God.
But amidst that chaos, we have Mirio like popping in and grabbing Bakugo at the last second. He tosses him up. He's still like he's still phasing through things right now, as they have a quick exchange with Shigaraki. He was like, I remember your stupid face from Jakku. It's like, my name's Lemillion. I pretty much just handle like messenger and like bodyguard duty stuff. So anyway, what's your deal? Why are you destroy? He's like, it's because the current framework has failed. And he's like, oh, I get it. You have no friends.
Otherwise, you wouldn't destroy anything.
It's clearly obvious that no one ever loved you. Would he?
I mean, he's saying that because clearly, if there were people that he cared about, he wouldn't want everything destroyed because that would include them.
This is true. Yeah, but Lemillion like carries. This is really cool. This is obviously more like what we hope to expect, but also don't expect at all. Nejire fires the waves, and Mirio's job is to carry the waves like through his fists to make contact, and it makes like direct contact. And that's all we get to see from like that quick shot of the fight, aside from like far off of what's going on. As we focus on Genus and Bakugo, Genus is trying to reassure Bakugo, but it looks like that is not necessary because Bakugo is literally just watching.
He's just dialed in.
He's super dialed in. We were seeing from the last panel like explosions that just popping off from like the sweat he's already emitting from his face instead of his palms. So that led us to believe that there is a possible quirk awakening that's hinted in the next chapter, but we will find out in the next. Just kidding.
I don't think it's going to be this one. It might be the next one.
Damn it. I understand though. We have different like sides and perspectives. But yeah, that was 360. So we're jumping to 361. We have we're going to begin with the first page. Number 361, abnormal happenings. As we get some flashback, well, not, it's kind of like metaphoric like shots of like a Shigaraki.
Well, this is when this is Tenka.
Yeah.
Tenka Shimura.
His all these hands, right, grabbing at him, linking together, as he just says, "Friends." I told Mikun and Tomo we should play together. There's a shot of like him in the past, like scratching his face. He still had that problem. As we cut back to the current shot, he's like, "I do have friends." Next page, he absolutely starts wiling out. Cause, like Mikun and Tomo said, "You're really nice, Ten. And Mom likes to go on walks with me. Did you know that? Huh? So yeah, I've got friends." And Miro's like,
poor dog. He's just like, Mirio's like, "I guess I hit a nerve I should not have hit."
Shigaraki just calms down real quick. Miro's like, "Sorry, man."
He's like, "Sorry, dude. Didn't mean to."
And in instant, like a bunch of fingers are like attack him. Miro's like, "Oh," and he just like phases through.
What?
That sure was a reaction. Did I hit a nerve? Touch a delicate topic? I feel bad. Oh, but more importantly, his core body's way tougher than his hand tentacles. There's no comparison. Couldn't even scratch his skin, so we might be in trouble here.
If anything, just like slightly like scuffed.
Right. God damn! I couldn't make a scratch on. Oh my god! You can watch your rack your clothes on that.
Oh my god! You can grind meat on those.
Looks like we get a little bit of like internal monologue with Shigaraki here. A fissure within. This body was complete, a perfect unification of Tomura, Shigaraki, and me. This is all for one. Or so I thought? It seems that there's a component that hasn't really quite melded. Neither Tomura, nor All for One. Interesting, what's going on here? Okay. Actually, Mark, go ahead and read this one.
Okay. And we see a young Shimura just like sitting there with all the hands around him. Shimura. We see Shiggy's just like, dragging this out is not ideal. As he just starts walking, we see Mirio. "Hey, get back there!"
Hold on.
Hey, hold up. As we just, oh jeez, that is something you don't want to see walking towards you.
Yeah.
We see him walking towards Bakugo with his basically
a swarm.
His kraken finger.
It's a kraken. The finger kraken.
The sound effect, doom. And we see Baku just like, "Oh fuck," just looking at that like, "Oh shit." We see this is Shigaraki. "Why would I care about a pesky distraction?" Then we see Mirio. I thought I felt him hesitate back there." Hato and Tamaki, "You two are the opening act. That's when I make my debut and yank Bakugo out of there." This is their planning from before.
Mm-hmm.
We see them, all three of them, heading to the battle. Then, since I'm untouchable, I can get in close to his actual body and buy time. Still, we can't stall him unless there's a sound attack worth waiting for. That's why.
Uh-oh.
All right, up to you.
Okay. So, to continue on, that's why I'm buying that time for you, Tamaki. It's like, waves him like the thumbs up. So.
Ew.
I was gonna say, like, so before we continue, I did want to point out the fact that yes, there were quite a bit of memes for this chapter, out of context, and I picked it up and I was like, okay, Okay, I expect this. Anyway, we continue. We have Shigaraki. He's prepping to like lash out like those tendrils at both Best Genius and Vago. Best
He's
Genius
about
like,
to
come,
whip.
do your worst, you foul abomination. Don't put yourself too hard. You've already eaten a decent hit. You're basically conscious, right?
Barely.
Barely. Barely.
Barely.
He says, you people, as we see the Nezuri waves. Like, yeah! This arena was constructed solely to defeat you. Built the tomb for yourselves. Is what he's saying. You
The
people
shading. It's shading.
yeah. He's pretty much saying you people have built a tomb for your own for yourselves. I'm worried about Nezuri in the next shot. Yikes.
Looks like she was just grazed.
That's a heavy graze, though.
It's not like an Endeavor level hit, but it's
Yeah.
definitely like a yeah. It's like yeah.
Big yikes. Major props though. She's been through like she's like sustained like serious like damage like from each like fight going forward.
She's a tough lady.
But it looks like we get a bit of flashbacks here. Since in just like bracket boxes, hey you. Since you've got that all-powerful quirk, it's like you look down on the rest of us.
Nejire backstory.
Nejire backstory. Whenever I get curious and try to learn about others, I wind up driving them away. That sounds like her, yeah. She looks over. Yeah, she has like a different expression like here. Just like almost disinterested. Which hero? This is the Amajiki talking. As he covers his face.
And puts his thumb up.
Which hero are you a fan of?
This man in the back. Oh.
And then she says, but then you asked me that. I got to learn so much from you two here. Jiki, like in this panel, he's pointing at like Mirio in the brush.
Mirio's ass.
Showing his peach. As the other one,
just looking
as the face is like from underneath is popping up.
Ah!
And now, I'm all the stronger for it. Cutting forward to like present day, we still see the waves going forward towards. Yeah, Shigaraki. We know the true worth of this vast hybrid. Sure, it takes time to cook up properly, but Togata and I know a lot about you, Tamaki Amajiki.
Guess I'll finish this off.
All right, go ahead.
If this, I will say what I hope this is called, but I'll say it after we finish, because this, all you see is what looks like a biologically crafted cannon.
Bruh.
And from what I can tell, I see zebra tarantula plus dragon fruit plus spider crab plus Seekasir, something like that, plus Japanese chestnut plus American alligator plus this plus this plus green sea turtle plus. Oh my god, it's so hard to read.
Yeah, essentially we have like a huge like 2-page like panel spread of Amajiki summoning yes. It's cool because you see like this monstrosity that he's concocting. In the back though is like all the contextual stuff that he's like consumed to prep this thing, but so like grotesque and like massive that it covers the text itself.
Locust, red sea urchin, I think it's like red fowl, some kind of red fowl, soft shell turtle, watermelon, jackfruit, and then at the very end it's plus Neji Hataro's energy. We see a picture of Nejire eating more things makes your potential grow and grow. See, Mirio, if anything can land a meaningful hit on Shigaraki, it's got to be a quirk with no upper cap. That means you. We see a flashback of Mirio and Amajiki. It has to be you, Sun Eater.
That's crazy.
As we see Amajiki aiming his cannon, and it's a nice shot.
This is really cool. They
dude.
don't give too much like coverage on like the big three, so whatever like they show really counts.
I feel like this has to be called the Chimera Cannon.
Yeah, I see it.
Because there's the Chimera Kraken. This seems like you could definitely just call it the Chimera Cannon.
So you know what? This is actually really impressive too, not just by the sheer grand scale, but like the closest equivalent to something like this is when it was literally just All For One just throwing every single quirk ability on an All Might at one time. Just the gross
Absolutely.
hand. This is pretty much
This
an equivalent, but it's all one quirk.
and all the memes were just of Sun Eater after eating all that food.
It was Sun Eater after eating the entire animal kingdom.
Just a bunch of pictures of a guy on a toilet.
My god.
There's like I do like how often with My Hero right now people are using the guy in the shower with the guts theme.
This is so crazy because Sun Eater do be that guy. He can do a lot as long as he has the prep time for it.
And they've confirmed it. His quirk pretty much is there is no limit.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't necessarily have a cap.
But there's also like the drawback is really just to understand the combinations that you can possibly make. Because
yeah, it's all about your combos. Like, but here's the thing: he combined all of this shit. Like, he did. I don't know if he understood everything that he would need, or if he just said, "You know what, fuck it," and just went and ate an entire buffet.
I'd like to think they went with the latter and just ate everything they could constantly like or possibly concoct. But I also think that there was a bit of strategy. I don't know like how he's able to form like this versus like something like a little bit more basic, like maybe tentacle arms or like a clamshell arm, but to create like essentially this cannon that supports itself.
Can I just say, look at my man's arm, his right arm in that last panel. He is swole as fuck.
Hmm.
Holy, you can see the veins. Holy shit.
He's pumping more than just
Like,
food in his stomach.
and here's the thing: he has to eat all of that in one day.
Yeah. Like, like what are the portions that he doesn't need to eat?
I mean, I feel like it doesn't have to be much.
Yeah, it could just be like bites. Like
A
it
bite,
could all fit on a plate.
like a bite, like snack size.
Also, what does the dragon fruit do? It's-
Uh, that's a good question. American alligator, maybe for I would mention American alligator, maybe for the teeth, or maybe just for the hard scales,
it could also be just.
muscle strength.
It could be also muscle strength, but it could also just be the ability to just grow.
This is true because gators can get huge.
They get huge, and from what I understand, they don't stop growing. But obviously, they have to shed off quite a bit.
They do have an average range where they usually grow to. I don't know if they
Yeah,
have a cap.
right. But you know, just natural causes like prevent them from growing any larger because otherwise, I guess their body wouldn't be able to support that.
But there are some, like you said, that do. It almost seems like they never stop growing because they're just that massive.
Yeah, they're a pretty ancient species, so whatever they
They've been.
got
I
going
mean,
on,
I think they say they've been around possibly since the dinosaurs.
I believe it. Nothing
Which,
makes
if
that type
that's
of
true,
noise.
I mean, it would make sense if they are because I mean, if they were underwater, they would have been safe from the mass extinction event.
Hmm.
Makes complete sense when you think about it that way.
Yeah. I also just see jackfruit at the bottom of that panel.
Yeah, jackfruit. You see green sea turtle. You see, oh, I see brown bear.
Oh my god. You know, someone's gonna have to ask Horikoshi, like, what exactly was it? Can you get a full like shopping list for this?
Did you write down literally every item? I'm assuming it's yeah. We see zebra tarantula, dragon fruit, spider crab. I'm gonna assume sika deer,
Hmm.
Japanese chestnut, American alligator. It's just so hard to read some of the other stuff.
I can only imagine at the end. Well, obviously, I think yeah, Hato's like energy is gonna be like the primary thing that's gonna shoot off this cannon, but everything else is just like enhancements through just simply like energy consumption of like said like thing they ate.
Absolutely. Like this thing right here, it's like I feel like it's just a combination of different animals' specific features in order to create a more powerful blast.
Yeah, that and to also just like hold that blast for as long as they can.
Mm-hmm. Because I mean, like I'm sure there's certain properties of each. Like I'm like, there's no way they just do this randomly. Like if I had to imagine, it could be random. I could say I don't think it is, but it could be. But if it's what I think it is, maybe Horikoshi and his editors did some research into what exactly these things do and like what's a similar property they could all boost.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it could also just be for support as well, or it could be a combination of both.
Yeah,
Can't
I'm
wait for a
just
deep. I can't wait for a deep dive video of why the Chimera Cannon works.
yeah. I hope that they provide context at least within the chapter itself. Like Sunny here just has like a bit of an elaborate like idea of like how he's been combining like a lot of different like just animal parts that he's eaten before. He's done it before, but to like elaborate on what this is,
And we know
clearly.
it's not just. It's also not just limited to animals, as we know,
Oh, it's true. Yeah,
because he ate the crystals before and he gained crystal powers.
yeah. Mm-hmm. It's pretty
So he's
much
got
just
a
a very.
very strong ability.
He's just a very emotionally compromised Kirby.
He's just a shy Kirby.
A very shy Kirby. Yeah. Oh my god. Like I hope it does damage. But like part of me like has like seen stuff like this before and like those attempts have like either done a big impact or have done nothing. So,
I think it'll probably. It's not going to do a lot, but I feel like it will at least buy time.
yeah. For Deku, for sure.
I don't feel like it's at all going to stop him, but I feel like it'll at least hold him back until Izuku gets there.
Yeah. It either like really inhibits him from like moving too much or causing more damage, or it actually does like more reputable damage. That I would say that even whatever like regeneration, well, I don't think they don't have regeneration anymore, right? No, I think no, they do. In like in a weird mutated way.
I don't know. That's a good question, honestly.
Because we have to also consider the fact that Stripes did it like quite a bit and ate away like some of those quirks. So, but then that would, yeah, it's actually a really good question. But if anything, it would do a lot of damage to just like that high durability that Shigaraki already has. And granted, you know, Deku can kind of bypass that. I would assume he could bypass like that just by his own sheer strength as well. But if anything, it gives all the players right here a fighting chance, which would keep you know all for Shiggy like on his toes. After all, he was already on the ropes, as it were, in his inner monologues, just saying that like he can't spend too much time here.
Oh, basically.
But I will say it was so funny that Mirio like really touched a nerve.
Well, you got to remember, like, because who's he talking to? A kid.
Essentially, yeah. I like how that still hasn't like changed about Shigaraki. Like Shigaraki, well, honestly, the entire arcs have like changed like dynamics. I was thinking about how just Shoto's character dynamic is shifted, and what we assume to be the dynamic of him in the class 1A is completely different from how it is now. Looking on the villain side, Shigaraki has always been kind of the premature kid who's just had to fill in like these adult shoes for the sake of like conquest. He's still being manipulated here, but he's trying to still have some like level of control over the situation. But he's still, when things don't really go his way, he still kind of acts out.
Oh yeah, because that's the thing. It's like he hasn't been Shimura since he was a kid.
Yeah, and
Like
he's
Shim, he hasn't been Shimura in a long time.
and I guess he's just been raised under like All for One's wing ever since. So he never had like that level of, I guess, maturity on that sense.
Yeah, it's basically like that. That's just the other part of him that's speaking right now is the original him, not what he's become or what All for One is.
He really he really just went out and said Miku and Toba said that I was really nice and Mon likes to go on walks with me. I got friends.
Dude, Mon was such a good dog to him. It's so sad.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
Yeah,
Mira's
like
like,
it crushes you.
damn, sorry, dude.
So it's just I'm wondering like where this is gonna end with with Shigaraki's character because I'm wondering because I feel I don't know like I don't know if we can say if he'll be alive or dead at the end of the series. But it could go either way.
It can go either way. I think Deku still wants to fulfill his desire to save him. But
I
it
feel
can
like he could
also
save him, but
go
at the
either
same
way.
time, he could save him at the same time. Shiraki might pull a
Yeah,
Vader
he
and
might pull
sacrifice
off
himself.
like a Doc Ock type of thing. I
Yeah,
gotta
like a
go.
Darth Vader that sacrifice himself
That
for the
too.
greater good.
A lot of tropes of like the villain redeeming himself at the end, and pretty much like cutting all like loose ends by doing so. But what cost?
What cost their continuing existence?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. It'd be nice, but I guess that's a conversation for when we get closer to the conclusion, or even see confirmation of that happening. But it looks like the next chapter is happening in another 7 days, so we got another week ahead of us. So that's gonna be around the 7th. So nice. They're still keeping it up, and honestly, you know what? The whole Bakugo Awakening thing. Now that we like mentioned it, and also just read this chapter, I could see it being pushed off for another chapter. Not even
Yeah,
next chapter.
I still feel like it's a very possible thing that's going to happen, just not yet.
Yeah.
It's definitely been hinted at, but we'll see when it's actually going to be presented.
In the meantime, we're getting some rightfully deserved coverage on Amajiki and just the rest of the big three.
Oh yeah, I feel like Amajiki's a very popular character.
Mm-hmm. I think all of them are actually pretty popular, or if anything, considering like their positions, they would have like the second most importance aside, well, alongside like just the standard heroes. Obviously, I'm just thinking like our class 1A and 1B have like more of a spotlight just because like this ends up becoming their responsibility too. And then that fall suit would then be like our year 3 classes and then the pro heroes as well, whoever remains. But
Basically, we know that some of the big three are actually stronger than most heroes.
it's crazy. And you know, I think
Yeah, there's that good.
yeah. And also just like I'm just gonna have to point out like our main three for the year 1 to year 2s, just being Deku, Bakugo, and like Shoto, like really just rising up. I mean, like I mean, Shoto got like quite a bit of help, and that's really important. But yeah, Dabi was a menace. But Shoto took that win, so I was like, nice. And Bakugo's no slouch like here
Taking the
either.
dub.
It always shocks me real quick. It always shocks me the fact that like Bakugo is like in this like fight with obviously like the year 3 students, but also like the other pro heroes fighting off Shigaraki. Like Bakugo specifically was chosen to go there. So
Mm-hmm.
and obviously Endeavor and like other heroes had like their other places to go, but Bakugo specifically was placed to fight one of the big bads. So that says a lot about his growth and the potential he has, like going forward with the series. But yeah, that was the only thing I wanted to mention. So again,
And I agree.
Next up, it will be 362 coming within a week. Before we call it here, Mark, is there anything else you want to add about this chapter?
I pretty much got everything.
Okay. All right. In that case, we'll go ahead and call it here. So, thank you guys so much for tuning in for another chapter read of My Hero. This has been 361, and yeah, I guess we'll see you guys in the next one. #bye, everyone.